Last time we saw the Gators, they lost to Miami. This week, they play Texas in the Swamp. Will Billy Napier's play calling be enough, or will it cost him another game?
Oh, we're going to talk about this.
How I managed to convince a diehard Vol fan to give me the mic and talk Gator football on a predominantly Tennessee Vol podcast is beyond me. But here we are. Welcome to Gator Bites. I'm Jay Mello, co-host of the Vol Patriot podcast. In these mini episodes, the Vol Patriot and I will talk a little Florida Gator football. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you know when new Gator Bites drop. Go Gators! Y'all, we lost to Miami again.
Right. And we're sitting here again.
Yeah, watching this game, I'm sure you were frustrated in how your offense performed and how play calling kind of let you guys down. Obviously, that's a nod at Billy Napier there. Your team actually had an opportunity in this game, and that's because of your defense. I brought it up before. Your defense is really good, and typical of Florida to have a good defense. Not typical for Florida to have an extremely bad offense. It's a dumpster fire, and I don't want no part of it. I can smell that coming up the road 20 miles away.
It really is a dumpster fire. Watching this game 2 weeks ago was just, I really had a little bit of hope because you're right, our defense played phenomenal. They held Miami to 13 points for three quarters. It wasn't until the fourth quarter that they gave up another 13 points. And honestly, I can't really fault them for it because they were tired. They were tired of carrying the team on their backs. And it shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. And I can't determine whether it's DJ Lagway's fault. I can't determine whether it's Billy Napier's fault. I don't know who is to blame. Right now, I'm blaming it on Billy Napier because I feel like he is hanging his quarterback out to dry. I really do. He is not giving his quarterback the support he needs to be successful. Let's do a quick overview of the Miami game. The first half, again, the defense held Miami to 13 points. Great, cool, awesome. Love it. Love it for our defense. However, our offense was just, it was bad. It was so bad. We only had 32 yards the entire first half. And we had one first down. Every single time DJ Lagway ran the ball, he lost yards. He ran the ball 8 times and lost a total of 8 yards. He lost a yard every single time he carried the ball. I just don't know what happened that first half.
Yeah, you look at Florida's numbers here. I mean, look at these stats, guys. DJ Lagway was 12 of 23 for 61 yards the entire game. Yeah, this is a guy that was extremely hyped up off-season, Heisman candidacy, all this stuff, all these accolades that, they were proclaiming he should have, or opportunities he should have to be elite in Billy Napier's offense. It's not happened. He's disappeared. And he looks terrible. And you have to look at it as, is that a DJ Lagway situation? Or is that a Billy Napier offense type of situation? It's probably a little bit of both at this point. But you look at the running game, you guys didn't have too much yards. You did okay. Ball had 12 carries for 46 yards. Jackson had 7 carries for 39 yards. And then it really tapers off from there, including your mention of DJ Lagway, 8 carries and -8 yards. Receiving, I mean, it's atrocious. Your highest recipient, right, had 2 catches, 22 yards, and that was Brown the third. So, I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable.
DJ threw for 61 yards total that whole game? 61 yards in an entire game? So it begs the question, A, was DJ afraid to throw the ball because of the 5 interceptions that he had thrown against LSU? Or Did Billy Napier not trust his quarterback and has lost confidence in his quarterback? And DJ feels that. And it is now affecting the way he plays the game.
DJ Lagway, just mentioning the confidence situation. He's 83, and this is total stats. 83 for 120 yards attempt. All right, 690 yards total. He's 67.5% completion rating on an average of 5.6 yards a throw. The longest pass he had was 41 yards, not too bad. But look at this number. 5 touchdowns compared to 6 interceptions. And the poor guy's been sacked 9 times already. It's, as a Tennessee fan, I feel so bad that you guys, I want you guys to be good. It's good when Florida and Tennessee are both good, in the same year. It means usually in the past, in the 90s and early 2000s, that shaped who was going to the SEC championship. Times have changed. Tennessee is back on track, but Florida, on the other hand, not so much.
So now let's talk about the second half. The second half seemed a lot more promising. There's a really fantastic third quarter drive where we actually scored a touchdown. Yay! Right? And then the defense comes out, and I think it's maybe 2 plays later, Carson Beck throws an interception. I mean, you couldn't be set up for better success than that. Then our offense comes back out. Wah, wah, wah. Nothing happens. Let's talk about the fact that we had 0, let me say it one more time, 0 third down conversions. But we managed to do 3 fourth down conversions that never resulted in anything. It's so frustrating to watch. It is so frustrating to watch our defense work so hard to stop a good Miami team from making any sort of progression, and then for our offense to come out there and do absolutely nothing. DJ couldn't read the blitz. He got caught in the pocket one too many times. He was sacked, I think, at least twice. It looked bad all over the place. And Billy Napier, you guys, I look over at the sideline at him. Every time they pan the camera at him, that man has 0 fire. He has no emotion. He shows no excitement. He shows no anger. I don't know that that's the kind of coach that Florida needs. You want to be even-keeled and stuff when you're at practice or whatever, but in the middle of a game, I feel like you need to have some fire, and he has nothing. Just nothing. Josh Heupel is a pretty, level guy on the field most of the time, but I have seen him get fired up. I have seen him argue with the refs. I have seen him yell at his players, good or bad. I have not seen Billy Napier one time get amped up about something. Is that just me? Maybe it's just me.
For the most part, I'd say you're right. I've seen him get emotional sometimes, but it's few and far between, especially for a guy at a school like Florida. There's got to be something to be fired up about. But you're right. Not really big on the emotions, and he's just kind of like, all right, these things happen. I'm not a Florida guy, so I just don't know what to tell you. I know if he was my coach, I'd have been fired him. Billy Napier, he's got to go. He's got to go. I don't care what happens in this game that you have against Texas, because no offense, Texas is bad too. No one's talking about just how bad Texas is. They're bad. They have all this talent. They paid all this money. And look at Florida State. They did the same thing the year they went 1 and forever or 2 or forever, whatever it was they had. And then the next year they were good. It's a hit and miss with these NIL dreamt up rosters, right? It's a hit and miss. Right now it's not looking good for Texas. I think Florida can beat Texas. I think Florida should have beat LSU and should have beat Miami, because your defense was good enough to do that. And none of those teams have shown abilities to get past your defense in an impressive way.
And probably should have beat USF.
How many points did you guys give up in that Miami game before you gave up the third? What was it, 7-13 the whole game up until the end of the fourth? What does that tell me? That these are winnable games. And if any of those teams went up against a team, and I will say Tennessee, I think Tennessee's a top-tier team. Why they're ranked at 15th for the third week, I don't know. But I digress. These are teams that I think Florida has a chance. They just need some offense. And so what's going to give you guys that opportunity? A good coach. So it doesn't matter to me if Billy Napier wins another game. He's got to go. You guys have to get rid of this dude so you can have a chance next year and the year after. Tennessee went through this 3 times, so don't do what Tennessee did. If you guys don't make a great hire after this season, in the middle of this season, or what, if your next coach isn't that guy, you get used to these conversations we're having. Bad offense, no offense, 60.
Thanks.
Look at it. How many yards did you guys have in that?
61.
61 passing yards from a Florida team. You better have had 400 yards rushing. I mean, what in the world?
I feel so bad for DJ Lagway. And
who lied to that man and said this was the place to be?
It's terrible. Oh my goodness. It's just so frustrating. And I am just so, I said it last time I did a Gator Bites episode. I am just so defeated as a Florida Gator fan. I really am. All right, let's talk about our opponent this week, Texas and Arch Manning. So when you look at DJ Lagway and Arch Manning side by side, their stats really aren't that far off from one another. DJ Lagway has passed for 690 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 26 carries for 23 yards. Maybe not so great. Arch Manning has a total of 888 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 28 carries for 123 yards. Obviously, that stat is much better than DJ's. However, I am not sure that DJ has been given the opportunity to use his legs in a way that would be beneficial. I feel like every time that he's run the ball, it's because he's scrambling to get out of a bad situation. So I don't know that the play calling has set DJ up for success when it comes to running the ball. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, the stats that you just uttered off, I mean, they are pretty comparable. For someone like Arch Manning, you would expect this guy to have ridiculous numbers at this time of the year. I hate to do it to Florida fans and Texas fans, although I don't hate to do it. But Joey Swaguar has over, I don't know how at this point, he definitely has over 1,100 yards passing, multiple TDs, and a couple of picks.
Joey Aguilar leads the SEC in passing yards right now.
I mean, he is the true story. But the real story as of right now is DJ Lagway and Arch Manning and their underperformance in the SEC in their programs. And the major concern is, like DJ Lagway, is he being handcuffed because of Billy Napier's inability to coach? Or is that a DJ Lagway thing that Billy Napier is trying to protect himself from? The same could be said about Sarkisian with Arch Manning. What's going on there? Is this something that he's trying to get his quarterback to see, and so he's maybe kind of handcuffed him? Is this really an Arch Manning situation? These guys are truly underperforming, and in a game where it matters how the quarterbacks play, because both defenses are pretty good, I will say, who's going to come out on top? Or should I say, who's going to look the worst in this game and affect their team in a negative way? Is DJ going to give up multiple picks that ultimately give Texas the win? Is Arch Manning going to give up picks, or is he not going to be able to see the field? He's going to hold the ball too long. Both quarterbacks struggling in this game is the unfortunate part, because you, going into the season, expected DJ Lagway to be a Heisman candidate. You expected Arch Manning to make some noise. This isn't the case.
I guess I just hope that Arch Manning plays worse than DJ Lagway on Saturday. As terrible as that sounds, because I'm just not certain where the fault lies when it comes to DJ Lagway's performance. But, I mean, it is what it is at this point, and all we can hope is that Arch Manning struggles to play in the swamp. I mean, that's our biggest saving grace, is that this game is at home, and Gator Nation will show up. They will show up regardless of how terrible their team is playing. They still show up. I
hope that Florida shows up, and I mean the fan base shows up and creates a very hostile environment, because that's one of the biggest keys that you can probably mess with this Texas offense under, Arch Manning here. If Florida doesn't show up and Arch Manning just happens to have a good game, which, look, Tennessee fans know it very well, right? A quarterback can suck all season, and then they play Tennessee and they become a world beater, and we're just like, what in the world? So you hope Arch Manning has continued no success, if you will, especially in this environment. And you hope that maybe DJ just does enough to get himself out of a rut, get himself going in this game. But it's a collective effort from Florida. The fans got to be into it. Your coach is going to have to coach a fairly decent game. I'll admit, Billy Napier is notorious for throwing a game away off of bad coaching. I've seen it in the Tennessee game. I remember the famous Utah game you guys had, I believe, against the Utes. And he just fumbled the bag because of poor play calling and time management. So your coaching is going to have to be better than what it has been. And your defense is going to have to continue to be what they have been for you guys, which is rock solid and really your saving grace.
It's so true, because unfortunately our run game has been just lackluster. When you look at our rushing yards, we've had a total of 492 rushing yards. That's it. Texas has had a total of 811 rushing yards. That is not a good comparison at all. Our run game needs to be so much better. What's mind-boggling to me is that Jaden Baugh has 289 of those rushing yards with 49 carries. One guy. We know exactly what we know, the other teams know, everybody knows that Billy's going to say, hey, hand the ball to Jaden Baugh. And the defense on whatever team we're playing knows that, because it's clear. It's crystal clear who we're going to hand the ball to. That, to me, is a play calling problem. That is not a player problem. That is a coaching problem.
I would say your run game, specifically your running backs, and even the idea to run the ball isn't the issue. I think the biggest issue is the offensive line, and that might be the most underrated conversation we're all having. Maybe DJ Lagway's running for his life and he's seeing ghosts, mostly because the offensive line isn't blocking the best, and so maybe that's why he can't go through his progressions, his reads, and see where the best pass is. Maybe the running game has been so atrocious because they're not opening up lanes. Now, they have done some good things, your offensive line, that is, at times, but it's not been consistent. So I actually think the idea to run the ball should still be in Billy Napier's pocket. You're an SEC team. You should be able to, at all times, lean on the run, especially in games like this. But can you, because of your offensive line, or can you not? So maybe the offensive line is really the biggest key for whether this offense is effective or not.
I definitely agree with what you're saying, because I do believe that we have 3 offensive linemen that are out right now, which is probably affecting the way the offensive line has managed the game so far. The fact remains that the biggest key to winning this game on Saturday is going to be our defense continuing to carry this team on their shoulders.
Yeah, you look at your stats defensively, you guys got some really good players that contribute to the defensive progression in a positive light and really keeping your team in games. Someone that I like on your team, number 24, I believe he's a defensive end, and he plays the end position a lot. He could be a linebacker, outside linebacker. Miles Graham, this guy is all over the place for you guys. Every time that I saw the ball ran to his side. He's making the play, covering down, making plays on the second level. Good player right there. He's got a total of 24 tackles. You have Brandon Brett. He's got 17 tackles. He's been pretty disruptive. Jordan, he's got 17. And then you have Sharif Darrison, I believe that's his name, with 11 tackles. Someone that's not really high on the stat sheet for you guys defensively is, I believe his name is Tyreek Sapp, number 94. This guy is so disruptive in the pocket that everyone else is starting to feast off of it. And so I think it's a credit to his play alongside with everyone as a whole, your defense as a whole, but he's not getting enough love out there. I've watched him and I'm like, wow, he's doing a lot of work down there, freeing up his guys to make plays. So your defense, like I said, is solid, and you're going to have to lean on that. You guys are going to have to lean on a long, grinded out type of game where your defense just dominates the line of scrimmage and makes plays on the back end. Look, when Tennessee was playing Mississippi State, right, our offense didn't start off well. We had a lot of things like what you said, the muff punt affected the game for us. What did we have to do? We had to lean on our defense, and boy, did they answer. This is the same thing for Florida in this game. You guys are going to have to lean on your defense to stun Texas's offense, give your offense a chance to figure itself out, right? And hopefully the fan base continues to bring the noise, and I could see you guys winning this game maybe on a defensive play. This is probably going to be a low-scoring game, 17-24, 28-24, something like that. This could be a last-second field goal, 20-17, Florida feel-good moment, sending Billy Napier off the right way because he's leaving at the end of the season. If he doesn't, good luck to your team for seasons to come. You'll be in a hole.
And on that note, final thoughts. I really hate to say it, but we are going to have to seriously rely on our defense yet again. Those boys are going to have to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and I hate it for them, but it seems like it's going to be the only way for us to win this game is if the defense can hold Texas. I think that DJ really needs to look out for the blitz because so far this year, Texas has 11 sacks, and that could be a really big problem for DJ. I think Billy Napier really needs to trust his quarterback. I think he really needs to have confidence in DJ and show him that he has the confidence in him and that he can recover from what happened during LSU, what happened during Miami. He needs to trust his quarterback. And for that matter, we have got to convert some third downs. We cannot go another game with 0 third down conversions. We can't win games that way. It's just not possible. We have got to convert some third downs or we are going to fall on our faces against Texas.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. You got to be able to convert third down. You have to be able to get first downs in general. I don't know how many first downs you guys had in total.
7.
But yeah, and I don't. And then third down conversions, you said
0.
That's not a recipe to have success. But you mentioned something earlier about Texas's defense being able to get 11 sacks this season and so on, and DJ needing to look out for the blitz. That's another concern that I think we should have talked about a little, and that is his ability to command the line of scrimmage. Look out for that specific matchup because against Miami, there was a couple of them, but there was a big play where he doesn't get his offensive line set, and he doesn't call out the blitzing corner. And I mean, they ran up on him so quick, hit him so hard. I felt bad for that man. So he's gonna have to do a good job of adjusting the line of scrimmage and calling out the blitz. Or he's gonna be eating grass, and I'm sure he's not a vegetarian.
Yeah, Florida fans and Tennessee fans, tell us what you think. What should Florida do? Tennessee fans, I know you don't want to give away all your secrets. I get it, but help us out a little bit. What is your opinion? We've heard the Vol Patriots. You guys have heard mine. I'd be curious to hear what everybody else has to say. Y'all, thanks for listening to this episode of Gator Bites. Hopefully we can go out there this weekend and pull off the win against Texas. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you know when the next Gator Bites drop. Chomp, chomp.